Best games for the NFL, Week 5. I am going to kick this thing off. Now, I'll tell you what, this week was actually a very challenging week to do this because there wasn't that many great games on the docket this week. But here we go for week number 5. I have the Ravens and the Steelers going down in Pittsburgh. I also have the Eagles and the Rams going down in Los Angeles. Of course, Cowboys Niners Sunday night football. And for the last two, going to be a very interesting game. There's some bad 1 o'clock games this week, in my opinion, but there's one in London. Of course, Bills and Jags that I'm really looking forward to. And then last game, I'll be honest with you, it was kind of hard to pick. It was like Chiefs Vikings, and I'm not really looking forward to that game. So, you know what? I'm actually going to say, believe it or not, because I think it could be a fascinating game. New Orleans at New England.
Okay. All right. All right, here I go. Number 1, I'm ranking these. Number 1, easily, Sunday Night Football in the Bay Area. Dallas Cowboys at San Francisco. Here you go, Dallas. Here's your first real test of the season. Prove you're not a paper tiger. Prove that you are a legit contender. Here's
what the hell is a paper tiger?
Somebody who, it's a team that like starts off really strong, but you know they're not really good. Like Carolina.
Oh, so like Seattle. So you know they're not very good.
Like, do you remember a couple years ago when Carolina started the season undefeated, but everybody's like, okay, they're not. It's because they're playing a weak schedule and all that.
And it was Dallas like a couple years ago when they played the 3 worst teams in football the first 3 weeks. Yeah.
Correct. Yes. So it's that idea. All right. So number 2, it's my favorite rivalry in the NFL right now. Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, AFC North Showdown in the Steel City. Lamar Jackson, TJ Watt, Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman, Odell Beckham Jr. It's going to be a great game. Okay, number 3, I am going to the AFC South, the heartland of America, Indianapolis. The 2-2 Tennessee Titans head to Lucas Oil Field to take on the 2-2 Indianapolis Colts. The Titans recently have dominated the Colts overall. Can Anthony Richardson turn things around? Or what has Tennessee actually gotten back on track after what they did last week against Cincinnati? All right, number 4, we're heading from Indianapolis down to the ATL, Hotlanta, Houston Texans, Atlanta Falcons. The Texans, they're coming off of a big win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. J.J. Watt gained his number, retired in the Texans Ring of Honor. C.J. Stroud looks like the real deal. I'm not changing my opinion. The Texans absolutely nailed it with this draft pick. Meanwhile, you have the Falcons. They've got good skill position players, but Desmond Ridder is just blah. So this is going to be a very interesting stylistic matchup because you know the Falcons, they want to run the ball with Bijan Robinson and some of their other running backs.
Do they? Arthur Smith, please use him more for my fantasy team. I don't know. Sometimes he disappears. Go on.
And Tyler Algier, there we go. And then number 5, I am going to go to L.A., Hollywood. Philadelphia Eagles, 4-0. Los Angeles Rams, 2-2. This was the game a few years ago where Carson Wentz got injured and probably lost his MVP. But then Nick Foles came in, and we all know what happened from there. Eagles would go on to win the Super Bowl. But, you know, the Rams, Matthew Stafford, maybe he's finding his groove again. They're going to get Cooper Kupp back maybe this week. And Puka Nakua, he had the game-winning catch for the Rams
Yeah,
last
I mean,
week.
he's a star. He's basically Cooper Cup 2.0 at this point. I need to say this. How do you not have Jacksonville and Buffalo on your list?
That's my honorable mention.
To me, that's a top 3 game. There's not that many games this weekend. This is a bad slate. It's not great, and we say that it always turns into a great week. But to me, this is very fascinating. I have no idea how Jacksonville is going to play. We've never seen a team play in London 2 straight weeks. We don't know if they're going to react good to that. We don't know if they're going to react poorly to that. We need to see how Jacksonville reacts against one of the best offense and defenses, one of the best teams in general in the NFL. So I would personally replace that game with Houston and Atlanta. Desmond Ritter's not it. He's not it. I'm sorry. And Vegas had Atlanta spread at 8.5. I said take the under. I didn't believe in Desmond Ritter. They like Jonnu Smith more than Kyle Pitts. Who knew? They can't get Drake London the ball. They're refusing to get Bijan Robinson all the touches at running backs. And then they put in Algier. He gets stuck in the backfield because everybody knows it's going right to Algier. My New England, New Orleans pick was kind of like your Tennessee Indy pick, in my opinion. The 5th game this week was really hard to find. There's not a ton of great games. Like I said, I'm just fascinated to see what happens in New England, because one of my bold predictions this year in the NFL was that this is going to be Bill Belichick's last year of coaching in New England. And if they lose to New Orleans, they cannot move the ball. They are not a very good team. I don't care what people say about their defense. New Orleans is not very good. If they lose, regardless of who's the Saints quarterback, and Mac Jones plays terrible again, at some point, Bill, there's this quarterback down the road at USC who's really good. If you want to get your Tom Brady quarterback, just tank and go get the kid. Let's give up this year. Mac Jones is not the answer. We know this. And give GM and give drafting to somebody else and give the kids some freaking skill position players, because New England doesn't know how to draft a skill position player in 20 years. They know how to draft guards and kickers and punters.
Yeah. I mean, I think the worst game of the week is going to be Giants-Dolphins, because holy crap, the Dolphins might put up 70 points again.
I don't think they're going to put up 70 points again. I think they'll put up about 30. A little bit of a hot take. I do not like Kansas City, Minnesota. I know it's a big game. I know Jim Nantz, Tony Romo are going to be there. It's just I don't think Minnesota can stop Kansas City.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and we were just talking about AFC and who's legit, and has the AFC lived up to the offseason hype? I don't trust Kansas City. I don't.
Wait, you don't trust Kansas City?
I know they have Patrick Mahomes, but other than Travis Kelce, who else do they have at skill position? Sky Moore?
And listen, I've been saying the same thing for 2 years, but you know what? When Kelce's out there, does it matter?
Yes.
I mean, does it matter? Kansas City always just gets it right. They're going to score points.
Here's the
Kelce being out changes their offense. Him being in there makes their offense a lot more lethal. If he's in there, it doesn't matter who their receivers are.
The thing is, yes, I know the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year after trading Tyreek Hill. I get it. But along with Travis Kelce, they had Juju Smith-Schuster. He was a very good complementary wide receiver.
In that Andy Reid scheme where they actually motioned him and got him open. Not like you're in New England where he can't separate from a third-string corner.
Right. And here's the problem. Kansas City this season does not have that complimentary wide receiver to Travis Kelce.
They don't.
Right now, if I'm looking at the AFC, I would put Buffalo ahead of them.
Oh, no. Josh.
I would put Baltimore ahead of them.
Oh, God. You're making the same mistake You are making the same mistake every single pundit out there will do. Kansas City's gonna get it. I understand your point, but until somebody knocks them off, which by the way, the Colts team who knocked them off was my freaking team, and we had them in the Super Bowl, whatever that stupid holding call they called on James Bradbury. You want me to get worked up again? I'll do it again. Because we're freaking caught. I've seen the history of freaking football. That is out close because you need a pass rush. Buffalo is too inconsistent to hang in there with Kansas City. We still cannot trust, and I love Josh Allen. Is he going to turn into a wild pony again? We don't know. I have to wait and see. We can't trust Miami. Tua is never healthy. The team that we should trust the most is the team that matches up best with Kansas City, and they at this point may not even make the playoffs, depending on if their quarterback is healthy or not. It's Cincinnati. That's the only legitimate number one contender to Kansas City right now until somebody says otherwise.
I think Lamar Jackson's going to have something to say about that.
Well, are we sure Lamar's going to be healthy? And by the way, are we sure they're going to be able to put up enough points to match up with Kansas City? Because I love the Ravens, but I don't think they match up well with Kansas City.
Go back and watch Week 2, Ravens Bengals. In the Ravens get the first drive of the game. They took they took like half the quarter on their first possession.
Kansas City's defense is better than Cincinnati's, and this is September. We're talking January football.
Baltimore can take the air out of the ball. I don't think Kansas City is going to have the number one seed in the AFC this season. I do not.